Welcome back, everyone. This is Kathy with Bridges Stamping. Today we are going to be making this adorable Mother's Day card. I'm going to show you a stepped up version, but we're going to focus on keeping it all about stamps, ink, and paper today. Simple card. Before I get started, I wanted to let you know I have my copy of the annual catalog that's coming out next month, actually in a couple weeks now. If you've ordered with me, you should be receiving yours soon. If you need a catalog, just let me know in the comments or send me an email. There's some really cool things here. If you caught my last video, I talk about some of the last chance items, so be sure if there's something that you want that's retiring, you grab it. Today's set we're going to be working with is called the Welcoming Window, which it's in the mini catalog. And the good news is this does carry over. It is also in the annual catalog. It also comes as a bundle with a set of really cool dies, which is how I was able to make this really nice stepped up card. But if you don't happen to have a die cutting machine, no worries. The stamp set on its own is still beautiful. Also, for our inside sentiment, we're going to be using the Happy Thoughts stamp set. Now, this one is retiring at the end of the mini catalog period, which ends in June. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, I suggest you do. It's a really great, versatile set, and I can see myself using that for a while. Okay, so what do we need to make this card? We need our stamp sets. We're just going to move them off to the side for a second. Okay, we're going to be using, for our card base, a piece of gorgeous grape, 2 pieces of white paper. The grape is cut at your standard 11 by 4 1/4, scored in the middle. And I've just cut the paper of quarter, not even a quarter, 1/8 of an inch shorter, so I get this just a very, very narrow border. Okay, and then for inks, we're going to be using Cajun Craze, Shaded Spruce, Smoky Slate, Gorgeous Grape, and Misty Moonlight. Now, I'm using a bunch, but you can use what you have. I'm coordinating it with the cardstock. If you want to use this in like a navy or a brown, you can. Whatever you like. Okay, so this is our model here. Okay, so we're going to start with, actually, let me just open my ink pads. We're going to start with that window. Oh, and there's one more item I'm using, and that is the Pool Party Stamping Blends. It's one of the set of alcohol markers. Now, I haven't shown these yet on my channel, mainly because you don't want to sit and watch me color, but I find I really do enjoy using the blends. Now, we're going to start with the window, and we're going to do the window in the Smoky Slate. Now, I always find it challenging when I stamp, when I'm on camera, so just forgive me, because I know this is not going to be anywhere near straight. And then we're going to do our shutters in Misty Moonlight, mainly because I liked Misty Moonlight and I like the contrast of the blue with the other colors we're using. But you can do this in whatever you can do it in, like I said, the early espresso, the Smoky Slate, and once, yep, I got. I have a hard time getting it right where I need it. Like I said, I don't want to put my head in the camera. It's close enough. Okay, so this is where I used the Pool Party. I wanted to give this window some kind of sense that there's glass there. And Pool Party is this really, really light blue, and it kind of gives the illusion. So I went all over it on the bottom, but on the top I just kind of lined these like panes just a little bit, and it dries a lot lighter than it goes down. So if you can see it, and don't mind my schmutz, you can see that it kind of looks like almost like a window pane effect. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is we're going to stamp the flower. Now I want to show you a trick for that. First, let me get my, let's stamp. We're going to stamp the flowers first, and we're going to use a mask before we stamp the pot. So I'm going to do, I just want to make sure I have it facing the right way. The Shaded Spruce. Put it right about there. Now for this stamp set, what I like to do is I like to line up the flowers first, actually, because this way. And then pick it up with my block. And for this set, I really like the smaller block. This is, I think, a B. Just make sure I know where the flowers are going. And then I'm going to tap in my gorgeous grape. And once again, there we go. Not too bad for doing it on camera. Okay, now how am I going to stamp this pot? First, I'm going to put it on. But I'm going to use a technique called masking. And what I had done is used a piece of Post-it note. I stamped my flower. I cut out just the bottom because that's where I'm going to be stamping the pot. And I'm just going to use it to cover up where I stamped. And then we're going to use my Cajun Craze ink spot. This actually, I think I got with a paper pumpkin, which is why subscribing to Paper Pumpkin is great, because you can get this nice stock of colors that could come in handy. And this kind of looks like, to me, a terracotta pot. So I'm going to stamp that there. And then when we pull off our mask, it looks like the flowers are in the pot. And what I also did is I took my pool party and I just did a little bit to ground it so it doesn't look like the pot is floating in midair. Next, we're going to stamp the Have a Wonderful Mother's Day. Once again, I'm using my little block here. Sometimes if I put it this way, then pick it up, then I know it's on there straight. We're going to be using Gorgeous Grape. In the sample, I used Highland Heather before I decided that I think I wanted the more bolder purple. I almost stamped that upside down. That would have been bad. Okay. Hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And we're going to cover that with, I think, an embellishment in a second. Okay, and the last thing we have to do is put these little bricks on. So what I did, we're going to stamp it in. Just trying to, this is the Smoky Slate. Full strength. You want to stamp off. You want to stamp off on scratch paper, because if you don't, you'll get what I have here, a little line. So anytime you stamp off on that scratch paper and then stamp. If you're doing full strength, you can go right on. And just, you know, have fun with it. Stick it where you think it needs to go. And then just kind of give the impression that there's this whole brick house going on. I stamped it off twice just to give a very, very light impression there. So I'm happy with that. Okay, we'll move that off to the side. And then we're going to stamp the inside of the card. Now I've prepared my, this is from Happy Thoughts. It says, today is great because it's all about you, the great person you are, the great things that you do. And what could be a better sentiment for Mother's Day, right? And I'm doing that in the, don't mind me, the Gorgeous Grape. We're centering that here. And that Gorgeous Grape is just this beautiful purple. And you know me, I really like purple. Okay, and then I'm just going to use that same stamp just to give a little bit of interest to the page. We're stamping off. And then last but not least, we'll just attach this to the front. And you can just use the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm finding I'm putting less and less of this on, and it's holding just fine. So don't put too much, but you just around the border and then line it up. Remember, we have a very, very narrow border on purpose. And there we go. And if you want to step it up, maybe cover some of those, let's see, what do we call them? The mess up, the mistake. My embellishments are behind my camera, so give me a second. There you go. Because I was not planning on actually adding them, but because I added that little mistake, I think it's a great way to hide the mistake. We're just going to put, this is the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. It's a great if you just want to dip your toe into embellishments. I'm just gonna grab one of the big ones. I'll use the putty tip. This is the take your pick tool, which it's so easy. My son is using them to put the rhinestones on my cards. And of course, I'm on camera, so I can't do it. We're just gonna edit that. Okay, so we're covering up the mistake, and then we're just gonna add a couple more rhinestones because it's Mother's Day. Let's make this card fancy. And here we go. That's actually gorgeous. Easy, right? All I did was ink that beautiful stamp set. I used the masking technique and some really fun cardstock. Not a lot of supplies, really fun card. And if you do happen to have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, this is the same, similar design, but I was using it to cut out the window and the shutters. Also, I used the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, which, good news, is carrying over to the new catalog as well. So if you love this paper, you can make some cute little, this also can work for maybe a housewarming card, or, well, you know, congratulations on your new house. It's a really, really nice set. It also comes in a bundle. So if you do have that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can get both the stamp set and the dies for a discounted, 10% discounted price. Okay, so April, new month, new host code. If you'd like to place an order, please use that host code. If you spend more than $50, you'll get a set of embellishments from me, free. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments or send me an email. Thank you for watching, and stamp on.